Hello everyone. Welcome to Simply Jira. This is Vijaya. I have 6 plus years of experience working with Jira. I would like to share what I know about Jira to those who haven't heard of it yet. As I mentioned in my previous video, this is something I'm trying for the first time and I'm open for any suggestions that would help me improve throughout this journey. In our last video, we have seen a brief introduction of what is Jira, what is a project or space, what is a work item. Today, I will walk you through few other basics of Jira. Let's get started. I have opened the same cloud instance which we saw last time. Here is a test project I have created. Let's take a simple use case. For example, let's say we run a project with 10 members and we would like to track the development work of this team in Jira. Let's create our first work item. This is what we call as screen in Jira, specifically a create screen. The reason it is named as create screen is because we create a work item through the screen. The very first field we see here is a space. Earlier this was called as project. We can see a list of all the projects for which we have access to in this instance. Like any other application, Jira also has specific access control mechanism, which we will be discussing later. Let's first create a work item on a test project, which I already have created. These are the default work types available in Jira. Story, task, bug, all these. We can also create new work types based on a requirement. Each of these work types are suitable for different use cases. Let's say we would like to track the development of a web app. Then we can go ahead and create a story. In case if we would like to track a bug on a coding or an error, then we can go ahead and create a bug. Let's create a story. All these boxes and drop down fields we see here are all called fields. There are two main category of fields, system field and custom field. System fields are those which are already available in Jira by default. Let's get started by creating our first work item. Test development of a web page. This is to track the efforts and progress on the development of a test web page. Summary is more like a title. This is always a mandatory field in Jira. For example, if we have to track something, we should always name it, right? So it is always a mandatory field. And then we have this description, which is most commonly used. Here we can elaborate what we are going to track and more details on it. Priority is something like when the team has multiple work items to be worked on. Based on this priority value, they can decide which they need to pick up first. Let's click on create. This is the first work item we have created. This screen is called a issue view screen or a work item view screen. Whatever you see here are called statuses. For example, As we are tracking this work, we may need to track the status of this work, right? For that, we will be using this status field, whether the development is yet to be started or whether it is in progress or it has been completed. If it is in progress, we will be changing it to in progress. Whoever is working on this will be owning the story. For example, if I am working on the story, this will be assigned to me. Whoever has created this usually will be part of this reporter field. Whoever reported this story will be displayed here. In this case, I have created and I am working on this, so both are the same. As we progress through this work, we can add comments like whatever work we have done for a specific day. For example, UI work is complete. That can be added as a comment, or whether it is awaiting someone's update. We can have that also added. Once it is completed, we will be moving it to done. Let's get into another basic thing called board. Jira is usually known for its visually appealing representation of issues and the clarity and transparency of the statuses. This is achieved using boards. Let's create a board here. Depending on whatever model the development team works on, either Scrum or Kanban, we can get into this later if you're not aware of this. We can create either Kanban board or a Scrum board. Let's create a Kanban board for now. We can create one more work item here so that we can see how visually appealing the boards are. For example, if we have a task test 1, and we have another task test 2. Once we start working on this test 1, we can move this ahead to in progress status. We also see the one completed issue in the done column. Once these are completed, these can be easily moved to the last column, which means 3 of these issues are completed now. There are some default reports as well, which the teams can track and understand their flow and the performance. This is all I had for you all for today. I would like to meet you on our next video. Thank you, everyone.